Good evening, y'all. We're going to be starting this video about Acacia Patience Bishop. I'm not sure if she was missing or murdered. Her grandparents and her mother believe that she may be still alive. Let's get this started. Tonight, all the information that I'll be providing are under the fair use copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act, 1976. Allowance is made for fair use. All right, let's get this started. Acacia, she was only 3 when she disappeared from her great-grandmother's and grandmother's home in Salt Lake City. Now, story has it that this little girl was visiting, and her grandmother, Kelly Jean Laudnell, unfortunately had some health issues, and it had past connection to hiding little Acacia. Originally, according to information, it says she was initially abducted by her non-custodial grandmother, Kelly Jean Laudnell, from her great-grandparents. Now, Kelly lived with her mother, and Kelly unfortunately had a lot of mental health issues. Drunk driving, she has a record, but that still doesn't, hasn't really been any 100% proof that I have found on this thing. On the night of 6 p.m. on May 25th, 2003, Acacia disappeared. She tried to get the great-grandmother, looked everywhere. I mean, she looked everywhere. She previously hit Kelly, the grandmother, had previously taken Bishop, little Acacia, without permission and hid her in the basement and was only allowed supervised visitation as a result. She escaped with Bishop this time when the supervisor, Bishop's great-grandmother, left the room for a moment. The two were later seen in Idaho Falls, Idaho on May 26, 2003, close to the Broadway overpass and Greenbelt next to the Snake River. The day Laudnell went to a nearby hydroelectric plant and told them little Acacia had fallen in the river. She claimed that she had dropped her while they were dangling their feet in the river. The plant was instantly shut down, and divers searched the water for several days, but still no sign of little Acacia. Laudnell later confessed to the police that she had jumped in the river with Acacia in a murder-suicide attempt. However, she also sent a letter to Acacia's parents saying she was alive and being cared for by others. Bishop's parents believe she is still alive and still hope she's alive. Says that Grandma Kelly purchased diapers and milk shortly before Acacia disappeared, vanished, and referred to her in the present tense in the letters to her own mother. Investigators continue to believe that little Acacia Bishop was the victim of a homicide. If you have any questions, please contact Salt Lake County Sheriff's Department at 801 743 7000 with any information and can be kept confidential. Now, this has been 21 years now that this little girl has been missing. Everybody hopes that she is still alive. When her Charley Project number, let me find it. Yes, she is on the Charley Project, and that link will be provided when I'm done with the article. Now, through the Acacia Project, let's see. Actually, it says she was 1 years old. Now, I'm not sure which is right when she disappeared. But at the time of her disappearance, she had a pink sundress printed around the bottom with white daisies or sunflowers. Associated vehicle is a beige, cream, or gray four-door sedan. Now, I'm sure that that's all has changed since then. Last known, Grandma Kelly Jean Laudnell was still in a mental ward due to her health. And they dropped the charges. Originally, they filed charges against the grandmother and looked at it as murder. They charged her with murder. And later, once she was admitted into the mental hospital in Idaho, they dropped those charges. Not exactly sure why. I hope everybody can. I hope if you see this little girl that you share her information out. I will also share the link, the Charley Project link. Let me bring that up. All right, this is the Charley Project website. These are images of her from the time she was a little girl all the way up to the most last upgraded photo, which I am pointing at, is at age 11. Now, she would be 22 this coming October, right just before Halloween. This is some of the information that you can find it. She is on the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, the Child Seek Network, Deseret News, Casper, Wyoming Tribune, Idaho. Yeah, she's on May. Even the Polyclass Foundation has her on their website. People looked everywhere. I mean, they stopped a hydroelectric plant on the Snake River. In other words, a dam. Okay, that is a huge feat to do because you got a lot of ships coming up and down the Snake River, and even to that point, It takes a lot to shut all that down and hopefully find her. Unfortunately, I'm not. It says a couple of days. It could have been more days that they went looking for her, but they believe that she was their mother, her grandmother had unfortunately, made her pat. Yeah, hurt her on that bridge. At the time of this Project entrance, it says that Acacia's mother and father are offering a reward for their daughter's safe return. They have issued a sketch of a man that they think may be helping hide Acacia. Now it's kind of hard to tell on this what's BS. It was somebody that Kelly knew, Kelly knew, I should say. Acacia's I probably read this. Acacia's parents hope that Lomel Laudmel is lying about her granddaughter's presumed death in an effort to conceal her from the rest of the family, and that she possibly passed Acacia over to one of her friends and would find her after she was released from prison. After she was released from prison, that's when she got put in a mental health institute. She'd had reportedly always been possessive of the child. Case's parents say Lymel has never been had suicidal tendencies before and had never indicated that she might harm Acacia. They characterize Grandma Kelly Lymel as a habitual liar and suggested her confession of a murder was a fabrication and that she had been planning Acacia's abduction for months. Acacia's parents also claimed that Grandma Kelly sent them a letter from jail writing that Acacia was alive and being cared for by others. She never referred to Acacia in the past tense in her letters. They only pointed out that Laudmel purchased diapers and milk for Acacia shortly before the baby allegedly drowned, which would not make sense if she'd been planning to murder her. Police investigated the possibility that Laudmel had gave or sold Acacia to other individuals, but they could find no evidence to support this theory. Nevertheless, her parents are convinced she is still alive. At the time of this post in the Charley Project, her parents had offered an award for their daughter's safe return. And that's also where the sketch comes in of a possibility of whoever may have their child or had the child. The man who was allegedly seen checking Kelly Lodmel and Acacia out of the Red Line Inn on May 26th. Now, mind you, from Salt Lake City to Idaho Falls, it's not that far away. It seems like it's a long ways, but you can get there, you know, easily. You know, even if it's late at night when they left the Salt Lake City and got up there, it would be, maybe 5 hours drive up to Idaho Falls. The gentleman is described as being in his late 40s or early 50s with rough, weathered tan skin, graying sun bleached hair, hazel eyes, large hands with carrot shaped fingers, and a small build. He was about 5'6" and smoked basic cigarettes. I'm guessing they probably found that. And back then, I mean, even then, DNA was still new, for compared to what it is today. You know, if they would have found a cigarette butt and they'd seen him drop it, they could have gathered it to, and done a DNA test. Now, I don't know if any law enforcement was there and actually picked up one of his cigarette butts. If they did, maybe DNA later. I mean, now I would hope someone did, and DNA be able to cross-reference to find this gentleman and at least ask him, do you know anything about this? If he's still alive, please, police detectives do not think the man, if he exists, was involved in the disappearance and presumed death. Grandma Kelly was tried for kidnapping in federal court. In January 2005, a judge acquitted her, ruling that she was insane at the time of her crime. The judge decided Grandma Kelly Ludmell was delusional when she abducted Acacia and believed the baby was in an abusive situation and she had a duty to save her. Grandma Kelly Ludmell was determined to be a danger to the community based on her mental health, past criminal behavior, and history of violence and substance abuse. She was committed to a mental hospital for an indefinite period. She may be released from the hospital at a later date if psychiatrists determine she is no longer dangerous, but her prognosis is poor, and she has repeatedly refused to follow through with treatment programs for her schizophrenia and does not believe she is mentally ill. It is unlikely that Kelly Lodmell will ever be released from federal custody. Therefore, Idaho prosecutors dropped the murder and kidnapping charges against her. If she is released from the hospital, she may face the state charges again. At the time of her disappearance, Acacia was able to walk, run, and say one-syllable words. Foul play is suspected in her case due to the circumstances involved. I want to thank all for watching, for listening, and let's keep this little girl. Let me bring her up again. Let's keep this little girl in our prayers. She'll be 22 in October on the 29th, if she's still alive. If anybody has the information, all information, phone numbers, and links will be in my description on this little girl. Please keep her and her family in your prayers.